Hi Mariah. I will now talk about two things that can be challenging for the pupils in learning English. Firstly, I will talk about homophones. I will point out the challenges the pupils will meet, and I will come up with several suggestions how we can work with the challenges in the class. Secondly, I will talk about the challenge to distinguish between v and w. Also here, I will come up with several suggestions how we can work with this in the class. The definition of homophones is: homophones are words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. For example, nose and nose. Nose is a body part that is placed in our face, and nose is if you know what something is, like the meaning of the word homophones. Another example, 8 and 8. 8 is a number and tells us how much it is of something, and 8 is if someone ate an apple to lunch. Last example, hey and hey. Hey you use if you meet someone and greet them, and hay is something you give the horse to eat. This is a fun picture illustrating how to misunderstand the use of homophones and shows that words are pronounced equally or written differently, which is the challenge of using homophones. There are over 7,000 homophones in the English language, so it makes the challenge many for the learners. The challenges for the pupils will be to spell the words correctly, since the words are quite similar in pronunciation. Here are some common words the pupils can practice on. Now I will talk about different tasks we can do practicing on homophones. In the first sheet, the pupil shall put the correct homophone in the sentence. This is a good practice which teaches the pupils to use the correct word. In the second sheet, the pupils get practice in the different use of to, and to. The most difficult with this is to distinguish between to with single O and to with double O. To learn it, the pupils must learn the differences. To with double O means as well or also. For example, you can have some milk too. To with single O is a preposition. For example, give it to the dog. It is also showing the infinitive form of a verb, I want to run. The last one on the sheet, to, is a number and we use it to tell something about how much it is of something. These are good tasks to work with the differences between the different words. Some pre-work is required so that pupils can work with this on their own. The first task on this side is a crossword. This is a nice activity that the pupils will like. In addition, they get good practice in the right use of homophones. Here, the pupils will read the sentences and then put in the correct homophones. The word that fits in the sentence also fits in the crossword. The other task is a homophone puzzle. The teacher creates a class set that he hands out to the pupils. This requires some preliminary work since one must make copy and cut the sheets. But if you laminate it, it can be used several times. They can work alone or in pairs on this task. After they have solved the task, they can practice the words orally 2 and 2. This is a game for practicing multiple meanings words, another way for the pupils to get confident with homophones. The teacher needs to print out enough game boards for the class and remember enough coins. Instead of using a coin, you can use a dice for this. Then you go to yellow field if you throw 1, 3, or 5, and green field if you throw 2, 4, or 6. A nice activity when the pupils are confident with homophones. It is important to teach pupils what homophones are so that they do not use incorrect words. One way to do that is to link a word to a picture. Then it will be easier to spell correct. It is also fine if the pupils find their own ways to remembering homophones. That will probably be the best way of learning for them. Now I will change topic and talk about the challenges speech sound of v and w. These are two sounds that can be challenging when we speak English. One of the reasons is because we don't have English w in Norwegian pronunciation. The English v has also more friction than the Norwegian v. To help the learners to do it right, we have to teach them the differences between v and w. Imagine that there is an O in front of W when you say window. When you say v, you bite into lip with teeth in the upper mouth. Now we are going to look in different ways we can work on the pronunciation of these sounds. These ways can also be used when practicing the pronunciation of other sounds. These are two worksheets where the pupils work with the extension of vocabulary and the number of sounds. Let the pupils follow the instructions on the worksheet. When they are finished, they can work in pairs where they practice pronunciation. These are also two worksheets that are similar to the previous two, but here they do not need to color. They can work in pairs or in groups. If you want variation in the task, you can take the exercise out in the schoolyard or as an activity if you have outdoor school. Laminate the sheets and hang them in a suitable place. They can be 2 to 4 in each group. Leave it about 50 meters from where they start to the sheets. They run one by one. When they arrive, they choose one word, run back, and pronounce the word correctly. If it is approved, they can cross out that word. The task is solved when all the words on the sheets are crossed off. If you are a class of 20 pupils, it will fit well to divide it into 5 groups. Then a teacher can complete this exercise by taking one group at a time. If you are more teachers, you can take several groups at the same time. A nice activity where the pupils also get active. The next way to practice the pronunciation are with tongue twisters. Tongue twisters are a great way to practice and improve pronunciation and fluency. You get repeated the words many times and the same sounds. It may also be wise to underline the words to be trained so that the pupils can visualize them. These two and these two are 4 examples of tongue twisters where pupils practice pronunciation. We can do them in choirs in the class. They can do it alone and they can work in pairs. They can also have it in lesson where they practice on the task, read it in and deliver it in Shobi. Then the teacher can give feedback on pronunciation. Finally, I will give some tips that can help when practicing pronunciation. Slow down. Take it easy will help when practicing new sounds. Wheel. Repeat. Repeats make you get automated the different sounds. Best, best, best. Exaggerate. The sounds you want to work with will amplify it. Welcome or vet. Speak louder. Force you to focus on the sounds. Whale. Record. Listening to what you have read makes you aware how you pronounce the words and where you are making mistakes. When the pupils work with tasks with b and w, they or the teacher can mark the sounds with colors. It helps them to know where to concentrate in reading. It can be done in songs, poems, or various tasks. It is also an advantage to practice two sounds at the same time. Then the pupils learn the difference between different sounds. Finally, it is important that we as teachers explain the different tasks in a way the pupils know what to do. I hope you have enjoyed my slideshow. Have a nice day.